Okay, so we are doing the comprehension paper 2. So for this one, we will read the question first before we read the passage. Okay, so now the question says, an assault of on the census. So because we have not read the passage, we're not sure what it's talking about. Okay, then we say what census is the writer referring to? So this one, then because it's a little confused what talking about what kind of census. And then if we read the question 20, just to have a quick idea, give an example to show how tradition and modernity can be seen in the streets of Bangkok. Okay, so when we read this sentence, then we can quickly find out from here some keywords. Okay, like tradition, modernity, streets of Bangkok. So now we know it's about Bangkok. Okay, before we read the passage, we already found out from the questions that this passage is about Bangkok city. Okay, and then now we quickly look at question 21. In paragraph 2, how do the wooden shacks and gleaming Mercedes cars show in the contrast between the two different styles? Okay, this one slightly drifted. Okay, but I think it's sufficient. We roughly know we are going to read a passage on Bangkok. Okay, so we have a clearer idea now. Then we look at the passage. Okay, so again, but before that, we come back again. Let's see the first question. What it requires us is line 1, assault on the census, right? Okay, so what the census that our writer is referring to. So let's see. So, okay, because this is on the question 1, then okay, we will underline that. Okay, so assault on the census. Okay, then now from there we will continue to read, right? Then it says, the metropolis has experienced decades of uncontrolled development, yet it retains an allure that makes it one of the Asia's most exotic cities. Okay, so from like every line, yeah, to help us to make markings, you can kind of underline what you think like appealing for you. For example, what they talk about something uncontrolled development and then assorted cities. Okay, let's like briefly underline this keyword to lock it so we know that we leave some markings, right? When you come back and find the answer will be faster. Okay, then Bangkok lives and landscape were transformed during the early 90s when the cities was beating hard of a rolling tiger economy. So it talks about how it transformed. Okay, so we know it's around here during the early 90s. Okay, then later in 30 years, so it fast forward, it talks about 30 years. What happened? Leafy avenues lined with wooden houses have turned into Manhattan styles, thoroughfares with towering skyscrapers. So it's talking about high buildings coming up. Right, so now we have an idea. While today open air markets are still surrounded by air-conditioned shopping malls. Okay, so that means they show that okay, there are some old markets around, like around the shopping mall. So Thai culture is, however, everywhere, a wellspring of smells, tastes, sounds and sights. Okay, so now, okay, in order not to go back and forth, okay, this is a question we need to answer and it's 1 mark. Okay, so I'll come back here. All right, then I'll just paste it here briefly. Okay. Okay, still bigger, better. Okay, so this is the first question. So, who want to try? You can type in the chat. So what does line 1, the census referring to? It's only 1 mark. So it's quite straightforward. Okay. And if you're referring to the question, it's like, the writer, because, okay, let's see who tried. Okay, let's see. So QY says the senses refers to the human's five senses. Okay, sounds doable. So, only thing is, how do you like, do you just put five senses like this? Okay, the senses refer to the human five senses. Okay, we can, instead of the senses, right, we can also just put they, because it's just like telling somebody, this is this, like, so you may have to spell it out. So they refer to what? Let's name the human's five senses. They refer to who? What senses? The five senses are, so actually you can just name the senses. Actually, you are right, Okay, so the the next question is, how do you write it, pen it down? So you see, actually you can see the last paragraph, they also give it. They actually name it, right? So let's say if you say there are smells, taste, sounds, sights, and then, but they didn't say you must say five of them anyway. Put there, here, then you can see. Okay, if you compare, right? Smell same, taste same, only sound you change to hearing and sight. Okay, so it's quite straightforward, right? Okay, so that way you get 1 mark. So I assume that, okay, if you put it properly, this one you sure to get this 1 mark. Okay, so let's see the second question. The second question just now actually we read one time. Okay, just bear in mind that we didn't read the whole passage, right? We used the time of reading the passage to understand the question, and we just do a treasure hunting now for the answer, right? Okay, so from paragraph 1, give an example to show how tradition and modernity. Okay, anyway, I'll just copy over. Then we can see. Okay, so it's still at paragraph 1, right? So we will focus on paragraph 1. What I'm going to do is I will make some space below. Okay. So you can see the difference that while you're still busy reading the whole paragraph, right? Maybe other students, they have finished question 1 already. See? Yeah, because they may not read the whole thing. Okay, actually most students, they don't read the question first. So only a few, they may start writing the answer for first question already. Okay, so now the second question says, from paragraph 1, give an example to show how tradition and modernity can be seen on the streets of Bangkok. Is it here? The answer would be for here. Okay. Okay, first is a 1 mark question. So usually 1 mark question, I think before all of you join the meeting, I mentioned before, 1 mark question usually it's like 1 line or 2 lines. Sure, yeah. Lynn will come back later. Thanks. Okay, so we either write 1 line or 2 line because it's 1 mark question. Cannot be too long. Okay, so because it's only 1 mark, so if that's the case, right, like the name, the Manhattan style is some details, like what kind of style, right? Does it modern Manhattan style, like, or sounds modern, right? But actually, when you have air condition, it's kind of the main thing to show is modern. Shopping mall is considered modern. Open market is tradition, so traditional. So you basically you just choose the main one and drop the other details out. Okay. Maybe you might worry, what if the to get my 1 mark, if I omit and then later I lost marks. Okay, if you're really concerned, right, you can write little longer, like you may say in the because the question said about the modern Bangkok street, what can you see? So you can say that open market and high buildings. Okay, instead of using towering scribble, you can change a little bit. High buildings and icon shopping malls are surrounding open markets, or open markets are surrounded by air-conditioned shopping mall and high buildings. So just slide a little more and drop the details because it's a 1 mark question, right? Okay, let's go slightly faster. Okay. Let me see. I'll just choose selectively. Okay, maybe I skip question 21. Okay, I just do the or I just yeah, there's quite a lot. Yeah. Maybe I just selectively I choose this one because this one is 2 mark question. Okay, so you see we read after we have read the question, then we start reading the passage. Okay, that will be more efficient. So first of all, when you read the question, you also need to underline the keywords. Okay, that means they want 2 examples. Wait, I use other color. They want 2 examples, and it's examples of activities, and it has to be the Thai, that means the local in Bangkok. And what the activities related is the stress releasing activity. That means they want to avoid the stresses of life. So the one that underlined in blue are the keywords. So, and then you start reading, right? Then you will start, then because of we already have the keywords, that will give us a curiosity to do your treasure hunt. That means you're hunting for your answer. So then you start reading, oh, you will be more focused when you have keywords. So driven by the Thai's natural entrepreneurial spirit and long working hours, then you will say, oh, no wonder they need to release the stress because of the long hours here, right? Then Bangkok enjoy its status as one of the Asia's most successful commercial centers. Nevertheless, so it's just introducing still about Bangkok, not yet related to the local Thai. So then, as you read down, where is it talking about Thai? Then here there's one keyword on Thailand, the Thai people, and then here about Thai spirit, but that's not the keyword. We want how do they actually relax, right? How do they avoid the stresses of life? So then another keyword is they try to enjoy enjoyment. So what else? Kite fighting contest. Now you see one activity, right? To activity 1. Okay. Then if you go down, motion pictures. That means Thai cinema, right? So there you get your second activities here. So the other technique is to know how to extract the related activities based on the keywords. Because they say 2 examples, so we got it, right? These 2 examples. Okay, so now let's say this thing just other one is art scenes. Additionally, they talk about art scene and then blossom with new gallery. Let's say we just take these 2 activities, the kite fighting contest and the motion pictures. Let's say we just take these 2. Okay, but for this summary, we only need paragraph 5 and 6. Okay, then beginning of the sentence also give us some clue, like the city of Bangkok has faced environmental problems So one or, so, okay, that's the question. We did this already. Select the relevant information. We have done that. Oh, so we have not done that. Okay, later we'll do it, right? So arrange and then paraphrase. So, analyze the question out. We have already done that. So one we are done. Okay. So selecting. So that's what the part that we're going to do. So we select what information we want, then and then to fulfill all the question, then can find as much points as possible. So about 8 to 11 points. Bracket and number your points. Right. So I think this you all also done in school before. Then you arrange. Okay. Then the guideline is write the shortest points first. And it's the best to write points under the same question requirement. Okay. That is like depends on if you are, is that your preference? Okay, then paraphrase. Paraphrase means you rephrase the content. Right. Okay, so I want to go into doing sooner lah. But anyway, just now we don't understand that notes, right? Actually, it means eliminate lah. You see the us and those. Like for example, if it says a star will be born, you can change to stars will be born. So you have one word less. Okay, then eliminate repetitive ideas. Okay. Okay. So example, if here there's it says nature provides for man's food, water, shelter, and clothing, can be paraphrased as nature provides for man's basic necessity. So basic necessity can be used to group all this together. Then your summary will be shorter. Okay, and then alter the word order means for example, father of the groom means the groom's father. So the groom put in front. Okay. And then play around the sentence structure. Okay, like this. This is like the man was kicked by the horse. Then that's why I mentioned the passive voice. This is the active voice. The horse kicked the man. So you can switch. Okay, can use some synonym if required. Okay, then join related words together. It can be, some words can be joined with a hyphen, but not all words. Okay, so this is just a brief revision. Actually, these notes I have sent to you all already in a group chat. Okay, so now let's look at the question again. Okay, so let's see. Paragraph 5 and 6. Okay. So it's pretty long, right? And then you all may say, oh, I have not read yet, right? Okay. Yeah, so we go one paragraph at one time. Okay, so we are trying to do the summary and the question is up there. So now we see that it says, okay, we're coming to this part where it talk about this has resulted in the traffic being close to gridlock, causing air pollution, right? Okay, so now the challenges one we found is air pollution. Okay, then the Bangkok mass transit system. So Singapore is MRT. There is like BTS actually. Or SkyTrain, right? Has some relative effect. So it means it's kind of helping. But when you have SkyTrain, it kind of reduce the car and then therefore less air pollution also. So seems like this air pollution ties with this. Okay. The BTS is like resolve the challenges of the air, which is the air pollution. Okay, then meanwhile, efforts to improve air quality what are the other efforts? Include stricter controls on vehicle emission, right? So, okay. So they have now, this is a second solution. And then, okay, I think what I will do is the challenges I will put as a other color. Maybe, okay, let's say, okay, here, if air pollution, right, is a challenge, so we put C here. Then the measure, right, is a BTS SkyTrain. So maybe we put M here. This is a measure. Then stricter control. This is another measure here. Okay, then canals which used to traverse the city has been replaced with intricate roadworks. So they actually use a canal. The canal has been replaced by the road network. So this is another measure. Okay, so these have proven to be more than aesthetic laws. However, because of the waterway system had served to drain the waterlogged delta, flooding of the lower lying parts of the city has thus become increasingly frequent. So now the second challenge is the flood. Okay, so this is a second challenge. Okay. Then according to the World Bank report, yeah, they tell a lot, they describe a little bit more like the extreme rain. Okay, but seems like it's a similar here. Okay, then the government has grumbled to ameliorate the problems by constructing so they built another canal here. So this is a measure for second challenge. So this is maybe the first, then this one second. Okay. So having said that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy here until maybe here. Okay. Okay. I will paste in the group so that you have access. Okay. You can paste somewhere where you want, you can do editing. Because you can refer to my paragraph 5. I already label for you which are the challenges and which are the measures can resolve it. You change to which is air pollution caused by severe traffic congestion. Let us look at the difference. Okay, that means you see from here, the city of Bangkok has faced environmental problems. Okay. Okay, one of what? One of they say one of which is air pollution. You can also say one of them lah. Okay, you can say one of them instead of one of it, which one of them is air pollution. Okay, because once you mention air pollution, you got a point. Challenge 1 is about air pollution. Just quickly put it there. Caused by traffic, severe traffic congestion. If you want to save number of words, you find that you want to have even less word. Okay, you can even like, it's caused by traffic congestion. Yeah, you can just do that. So that will be the answer for that. Okay, the second one, okay. So let me try to, okay, let's do it faster. Okay, instead of asking you all to do it here. Okay, I'm going to block on the right side. They give us an answer on right? Okay, let's see. How do you summarize this? SkyTrain, then as well as underground train service have some palliative effect. Okay, how do you summarize this one? To say that, yeah, let me see. It's useful. Yes. Yeah, you can say it's useful also. It is useful in coping with the traffic congestion. Okay, let's see. Right, and they say have helped alleviate this problem. So you still have to kind of add a few words. In fact, you can see that this answer actually is longer than their original one because you can't use what they have. But what we did do is we change to N as well as change to N. Then underground train system, we kind of cannot change these words too much, right? So they use back. Okay, so if you use back service, right, it's not much problem as well. Otherwise, you can also say like network, underground train network, or just say underground train, just straightforward. Underground train have is useful in overcoming this issue, overcoming the traffic issue. Okay, so quite close. Okay, the next one, let's try. Efforts to improve air quality include stricter controls on vehicle emission. So how would you change? So if you're not very sure, you can change the order of the words. Air quality can be improved through stricter controls. Good, that's a good try. That's good. Okay. Let me put here, that's what. Okay. Desi said, very good. Okay. So Desi says this. Okay, let's see. Okay, so they didn't put the air quality here because of there's a comma here. So they are continuing from the previous sentence. That's why, right? Okay, so anyway, you mean the same thing. Then let's see if you continue from here, right? You can say that while SkyTrain and underground train system have helped alleviate this problem, um, it can also, what else? Through stricter controls, or it can also be improved. This can also be improved by stricter controls. Okay, so they use harsher. So basically, they try not to use the same word. So if don't use strict, the other one is uh harsh, or maybe rules. Okay, some rules to control, some rules or some restriction. Okay. Then on they say vehicle emission they can't change. So through this exercise, it's just to learn what can be changed, what cannot, and how to change the order. Okay. So let's see the next one. So the next one is canals which used to traverse the city have been replaced. This is so lengthy, right? So okay, anyway, I'll show you the answer here already. So that's the main part that they reduce so much. Okay, so canals we can't change, right? Then to traverse the city has been replaced. Can we know that all this not needed? The main thing is that it's being replaced by intricate roadworks, road networks. Here they just say replaced by roads. So you can see that the main thing is the replacement here. Then other thing they don't use anymore. Okay. Okay, because not relevant. Okay. Okay, then here nearly 40%, this is in the passage. So okay, what they want to talk about is the challenge two about the flood, right? So the rainfall and changes, weather change. So weather changes in weather, this is obvious. Weather changes. So basically you just omit a in. Okay. It's actually after when you summarize, you may not need a lot of difficult words. Unless that helps to um reduce the number of words. Okay. And then for six, they talk about the government. These are the measures. Yeah. Actually, coming to paragraph 6, which we have not read because, you know, in case you're not enough time, we just go faster. So the government has scrambled to you know, ameliorate the problem by constructing this one. So the main thing is the canal. We just want this canal. Okay. Then what does the canal do? They say to evacuate water. So that's the main thing. Okay, therefore, as long as you have the canal here and it's talk about drinking water. Okay, but one thing they add in is they say the government. So the who is the government who do it? They build something. What do they do? Drink water. So the 5W1H, they help here. Okay, of course, there is no Y lah. Okay, the W on Y is it? We don't have to say. Okay, and this one, extraordinary amount of trash. Okay, when you see the sentence quite short, basically after you summarize, it's also cannot be much shorter than that. It's more like just expect you to paraphrase it. Okay, so like the noun that the 5W1H, we have the what is the trash. So trash definitely will remain, cannot change. Then they say throw away. You can think of, you can say dispose or discard. Okay. 9 is the MBA. MBA is just a organization and encourages in the passage, encourages resident to practice a 4R and all that. So since they use 4R, you are allowed to say 4R in your summary. Okay, but then you don't have to say all this way because they in the passage they already spell out. So when you summary, you don't have to. Okay. Right, and then they omit the B and A. Okay, because the key thing is not who encourages the resident. Main thing is what they practice. So you can just write straightforward. Just mention the 4Rs. Okay, then the lastly will be city salaryman. City salaryman, actually in the passage salaryman, it's like Singapore we call Karang-Guni or the rubbish collector. Like not garbage, like the collectors are all items collectors. Okay, so this is Thai, I think. This word is maybe it means in Thai the same meaning. So we can't really we don't translate for them. Since they use this, we can use back. Okay. So the who you don't change. Yeah, you just say they say comb the streets. This is easy, right? We can just say we don't have to say they comb the streets. That's not important how they do it. It's more important what they do. So what will be they buy, then here you can summarize like all items. Okay, they buy all. You want to be more specific on recyclable items to the recycling plants. You may not need to say who they sell to. The main thing is that they collect and they resell all items or recyclable items. Okay, so that way you finish this one. I see if they put the whole passage. Okay, they didn't put the whole passage, but the whole passage is basically all those in bold. So you can just if you link them up, right, you should get 80 words. Okay,